so welcome to the Vision Board Workshop. And as I mentioned, the link to download the workbook is in the chat. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to quickly go through the workbook with you. Like anything in life, creating a solid foundation. When you build a house, the most important thing that you need to do is make sure that you have a solid foundation. Otherwise, the house is not going to stand for very long. And the same thing applies to a vision board. So a lot of people think, oh, a vision board doesn't work. It's just a bunch of pictures on a wall. And yes, it could be that. But if you work through it carefully and you have an intentional process to create your vision board, it actually can be something that's really, really powerful. So Kathleen and Kevin, you're welcome to, just ask questions at any point in time. I can't see the chat when I'm sharing screen, so it's better if you just interrupt me and ask questions if you've got any. But I'm going to go through the foundation of a vision board. I'm going to firstly tell you a bit of a story on how I got introduced to vision boards. So I'd heard about a vision board. I'd never tried one before, and I saw this car, a Nissan Juke. I saw adverts on the television, and I thought, oh wow, the adverts had this funky looking car that looked like fun, and they gave the impression that if you owned this car, you would have some fun, and it's got, it's sporty and everything. And I decided, oh, I really, really want this Juke. So one day I decided, okay, I'm going to print out a picture of this Juke and put it up on my cupboard. So I put it up on my cupboard, and every time I went in the morning to go and get my clothes out the cupboard, I'd see the picture of this Juke. And, throughout the day. So it was in this place where I went a few times a day. So the funny thing that happened was that as I was driving around, I started seeing how many Nissan Jukes were on the road. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before. And then one day I was driving down the main road, and here at this used car dealership was this Nissan Juke that was like checking me out, and I decided that this is my car now, and this is my opportunity. My husband said to me, Cara, just go and apply for it. You never know, you could get the funding to buy this car. And in a few days, I was actually driving around in my Nissan Juke. And since then, I bought a brand new one. So what's the point of all of this? The point that I'm trying to bring across is that you have a system in your brain called the reticular activating system. And what this system does is it makes sure that you notice things that are important to you. Because at any given point in time, you've got like 20,000 bits of information being thrown at you. Everything that you touch, you smell, you taste, you hear, you see, there's just so many bits of information. And the thing is that you can't actually notice, pay attention, or, really take to heart, see every single bit of information, because it's just physically too much. So out of these 20,000 bits of information, on a really, really, really good day, you could maybe notice and pay attention to 9 bits of information. So that is a huge discrepancy between the two. Now, the rest of it all goes into your subconscious mind, and those 9 bits of information that are really important to you, that comes now into your conscious mind that you use to create, to make decisions, to have thought processes, etc. So now, what I did by printing that picture of the Nissan Juke out was I was telling my subconscious and my reticular activating system that this Nissan Juke was important to me. Okay, so that's why suddenly when I'm driving down the road, I started seeing Nissan Jukes. Okay, and it happens with a lot of other things. And this is one of the reasons why having a vision board is really, really important, because you're telling your brain that this is important to me, and it will then help you notice things that will bring it to fruition, that will make this happen. Okay, so now back to the workbook. So you'll see that if I click here, this workbook belongs to, you'll be able to type your name in. And that's what I mean by download the book, save it on your computer, and then you'll be able to fill the fields in. So the detail you'll be able to read in your own time. I want to focus on the important bits of information. The first important part is understanding vision boards. So what exactly is a vision board? It is a visual tool that will help you bring your dreams and goals to fruition. So it needs to be representative of what you really want to achieve, what you're looking at, even buying. If you want to buy a house, then you can put that onto your vision board as well. So it needs to be something that's tangible and a representation of your future that you are wanting to build for yourself. Okay. And it's only as good as the emotion that it evokes when you look at it. So it needs to make you excited and motivated about getting what is on that vision board. So does that make sense to you? That is what it physically is. Now, why would you create it? If you do a vision board properly, like we're going to do it, it's actually a process of figuring out what your, what your goals are. What are the things that are important to you right now that you want to achieve? So if you follow this process, creating a vision board is so much more than pretty pictures. It helps you create, gain clarity and focus on the things that are really important to you and what you want to achieve. It helps you to manifest things through visualization. And I've just explained to you how that actually works, because you will start seeing things and seeing opportunities that will help you make, achieve whatever you've put onto your vision board. It also acts as a motivation and inspiration. So some people prefer to have a whole lot of affirmations on their vision board and maybe one key thing that they want to achieve. It is a very personal thing, so there's no right or wrong with vision board, but what we're trying to do here is guide you to create one that actually works. Then it also helps you with goal reinforcement, and it will help you to make your decisions in life. So if you have your vision board and it's clearly representative of what you're trying to achieve, then you will also have, be able to make better decisions, because every time something comes across your path and you need to make a decision, you will start thinking, okay, is this going to help me get towards my dreams, get closer to my dream? Right. So creating a vision board is actually quite a great process in helping clarify exactly what you want, and then, taking that first step towards getting it. And it's lots of fun. Okay, so let's look at the different types of vision boards that you can get. So the first one is a theme-based vision board, and you can see this one here has got like lots of hearts and things like that. To me, this one's a little bit chaotic, but each to their own. This might be something that you like, and there's only pictures there, but clearly this person's vision board was aimed around relationships, what they're looking for in a relationship. So a theme can be either health, it can be relationships, it can be career, but it's designed around a specific theme. Okay. The second one is a yearly goal. So that is the one that we've designed this workbook around. And this is one where you take 2024, what are the things that I'd like to achieve and that are important to me in 2024, and you build a vision board around that. So this is an example of one that I built, created for last year. And I can tell you quite clearly which things have actually come to fruition and which things haven't. And we'll dig deeper into that a little bit later on in the workshop. The third one is digital. So this is a format, and I use Canva to create my vision boards, and then I go to printing shop and I go and print it out on a A2 or A1 size card, and then I paste it up on my wall. But somebody else might create it digitally. Canva is only one tool that you can use. And they can put it on their screens as a screensaver on their computers. So every time their computer goes to sleep, they will see their vision board there. When they log in, it could be your desktop image. So that is another idea if you don't want to print it out, or maybe if you travel a lot, you'd prefer that. One thing that I am keen to offer is a workshop on how to use Canva to create a digital vision board. And if you're interested in that, please let me know, because I think it will be very useful. Right, who's chatting to me here? Can I post the link again? Okay, let me post the link. Here we go. I am going to send the link to you in an email after this workshop as well. And the other thing that we're going to do is I formed a VIP Facebook group, if you're interested in joining it, where everybody who's attended these workshops is welcome to join, and we can then share our vision boards. We can ask questions, share ideas. Maybe even if you're not sure of the wording to put on, you can ask, for some advice on how to improve the wording. And I'd also like to see, once you've created your vision boards, to see how you progress throughout the year. So the fourth type of vision board is a mind map. Some people work much better with mind maps. This is not me. I prefer pictures and a few keywords. But for someone else who thinks differently to me, a mind map might work better. Okay, then there's bucket lists. Maybe there's some things that you want to do. And for me, a bucket list is like more long-term. A vision journal, which is more words than pictures, a collaborative vision board. So this is something interesting, which you could either do if you're a business owner, or maybe even just with your family, if there are things that you want to achieve as a group of people. Here again, I've had some experience with a collaborative vision board. My previous employer, my boss, she went to a vision board workshop, and she came into the office one day and decided, okay, let's create a vision board for the company. Great. So she put up this big piece of paper on the wall, and then she told us that we could all put our little wish list, like write it out on a small piece of paper and pin it onto the vision board. And what our vision is, what we'd like things in the company. Now, the thing is, firstly, I'd never heard of a vision board at that time. So I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't really clearly explained. And so that's the one thing. You can't assume that everybody in your group that you want to collaborate with actually understands what a vision board is. The second thing is, what is your ultimate goal of creating a collaborative vision board? So are you trying to find ways to improve the company as a whole, or are you trying to find ways to create more team spirit in the company? So everybody should understand what the purpose is, what you're trying to get out of the vision board, and they all need to buy into the process. So what happened was, because we weren't explained, the whole thing wasn't explained to us properly, we had things like, we want a water cooler and we want a sweet dispenser machine. We'd like to have a day off instead of getting a birthday gift, you know, that sort of thing. But there was nothing with regards to improving systems, processes, maybe how we could find more business, make the company more profitable, etc. So there's nothing like that. And we got a sweet machine, which was all great, but you know, at the end of the day, that didn't achieve what the bosses were wanting to achieve. And then they said, okay, well, a vision board doesn't work. So that is an important lesson to be learned about vision boards. You can also have career or business vision boards. Travel, you know, some people have travel goals. I know, and I follow a travel blogger who wants to visit all the countries in the world by the time he's 60 years old, and he's 53 at the moment. And so I'm sure he's got a travel vision board where he can see, you know, these are the countries that he's already gone to, and these are the ones that he's going to, and you know, he still needs to visit. And I'm sure that every year he looks at what countries he'd like to visit that year. Relationships and family vision boards are also quite effective, and especially if you've got a blended family where you know, you've brought two families, two groups together, and they're now one family. I think a family vision board is a wonderful way to share information and to create unity within a blended family. Okay, any questions at this stage? Nothing. Okay, so for now it comes to the secret sauce, and what is that magic formula to make a vision board really work? And some of this I've already touched on, but let's go through it again, because this foundation to your vision board is so important. If you don't do the planning with intention, you're not going to get much out of it at the end of the day. So it needs to be a thoughtful and intentional process that merges creative thinking with purposeful goal setting. Okay, so it all sounds very theoretical and all of that, but at the end of the day, that is what a vision board is. And if you're not going to take it seriously, it's not going to work for you. So the first step is to reflect and define your goals. It's absolutely important to give it some thought. What exactly do you want? And be clear about it. You know, I don't know if you've looked through a lens of a camera that is not 100% in focus. You might see a little bit of the picture in focus, but the rest of it is fuzzy. The same thing applies to your life. If you don't know exactly what you want, you're never going to get there because you don't actually really have a goal. So the first thing is to define what you're wanting quite clearly. So when you're looking at a vision board for 2024, what I would say is, within this year, where would I like to be at the end of 2024? And we'll look at a little bit later how you can unpack that. Okay. The next thing is, think about what materials you want to use. So are you going digital? Are you going to create a physical board? And for your physical board, what would you like to use? Some people are a lot more creative than others. So if you're an artist, you might actually want to paint, you know, do some beautiful drawings or create some sketches rather than cutting pictures out of a magazine. If you're someone who uses the internet a lot and does graphic design, you might want to pull digital photos off of the internet or create your own images on a digital package and then print it out afterwards and use them for your vision board. I'm a photographer, so I enjoy taking photographs and I appreciate beautiful photographs on the internet. So that's where I take my source of inspiration from. So think about your materials and what you will need to put it all together. Then visualize and feel. So a vision board is very much about emotion. Close your eyes and think, oh, what would it feel like if I was driving this Juke? Hey, how would I feel? I would feel I'm on top of the world. I could go anywhere I wanted to go. You know, the world would be, there would be no limit for me, except for the price of petrol, but we won't talk about that. So imagine how it's going to feel. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What physical things do you see in front of you so that it is tangible and you know exactly what you need to get what you're wanting? Okay. Create the collage so you can create the vision board. You saw some pictures, some examples there. One thing I'd like to advise you is try not to make it too busy, because if it's too busy, it might actually cause more stress for you. But some people like busy and pictures one on top of one another. Some people like a more cleaner look. It's entirely up to you. But if you've got a lot of things that you want to achieve, you might feel overwhelmed if you try to put them all onto your vision board. So figure out your priorities, make it nice and clean. It needs to be exciting and motivating. And add the personal touch. So put in a photograph that you've taken, write things by hand, etc. It is very much a personal experience, and it must, again, it needs to be positive information. Positive emotions need to come out when you look at your vision board. Okay. So it's a fusion of visualization, emotional connection, creativity, action, and belief. And the one thing about making an actual physical vision board that makes me excited is that it takes you back to your childhood when you were at school and you had a handwork class and you could then start cutting papers and pasting and, you know, making these collages, etc. And sometimes it's nice to go back to that. You know, you get to feel as free and carefree that you were when you were a child by doing things like this. Okay, right. So once you've created the vision board, what now? Okay, so it's all fun and well that you've made this beautiful vision board, but if you roll it up and stick it in a cupboard, it's not going to do anything. Okay, it's just going to be a work of art, something that you've done. So the most important thing is to put it in a very strategic place. You need to figure out where are you going to see this vision board every single day, that it keeps reminding you that this is what you want to achieve this year. Daily visualization and affirmations. I'm going to go through how to do the visualization exercises. Affirmations are short sentences. Now, everybody's affirmations are going to be different, but start thinking, I am capable. I am prosperity. Nice, positive sentences. If you need some help to create your affirmations, please let me know. Because I'm very happy to work with you to create some affirmations that you can then paste next to your vision board and keep reminding yourself that you actually can achieve what you've put on that board. Set clear action steps. Sure, now this sounds like hard work, but actually a dream without a plan is just, I mean, a goal without a plan is just a dream. So, you know, you don't want it to be something pie in the sky. If your intention is you really want to buy a house, what do you need to buy that house? So you need to look at your current financial status. You know, are there things and steps that you need to take to improve your credit score rating? Do you maybe need to go and speak to your bank about how does a home loan work? You know, what type of house do you need? So you need clear action steps to get to your goal. And that is actually really, really important. Review and reflect. So continuously have a look at where you are on your vision board. So with your house, at the beginning of the year, it was just a dream. It was just something that you said, hey, I want to buy a house. I don't want to rent anymore. Now, 3 months down the line, where are you? Okay, 3 months down the line, I actually have a plan. I know exactly how much I can afford at this point in time if I was going to apply for a bond. And I know what financial, items I need to, like small debts that need to be paid off to improve my credit score, what action steps I need to take. So 3 months down the line, that's where you are. Then 6 months down the line, you've already started paying off some of those debts and your credit score hasn't improved. And if by the end of the year you haven't got your house and your bond approval yet, take a look back. See, where was I at the beginning of 2024? I was nowhere. See how far you've come and don't give up. Believe that you can achieve it, because maybe you just need a few more months and then you will have your house. So a lot of people say, oh, New Year's resolutions don't work. And by the time they come to the end of the year, they haven't achieved what they wanted to. What they forget is, firstly, you need to be very intentional. So yes, maybe New Year's resolutions don't work, but goals and dreams can become a reality if it's intentional. Have a plan. And then when you get to the end of the year and you haven't quite achieved everything on your vision board, that's okay. Look at how far you've come. Never forget how far you've come. It is so important, because that will give you the strength and the motivation to carry on and to not give up. So also stay open to opportunities. And this is something that's very, very important, because sometimes you actually don't have, and often you don't have all the answers. So be open to finding solutions that you possibly never even thought of. Like you had no idea that these options were there. Be open to new opportunities and to learning new things. Again, visualize your emotions and feelings. Don't lose touch. Emotions and feelings are so important. They are such an important part of being a human being. And imagining the emotion and the feeling that you will have once you have that new house will keep you motivated and help you, through the difficult times, especially. Track your progress, see how far you've come, and stay committed and patient. So the one thing that I wanted to highlight, which isn't here, is belief in yourself. Don't ever lose belief in yourself. And if you bump into a limiting belief, work on it, eliminate it. And if you have a problem and you don't know how to get past it, you've got this limiting belief, you don't know where it comes from, and you've tried everything that you can to get past it, reach out. This is what coaches are there to help you with, to work past those limiting beliefs, because sometimes you can't do it on your own. Okay, let's go to the actual creating of a vision board. So the first thing you want to do, and this is still the foundation phase, is you actually want to visualize. So this is how you do your visualization exercise. First thing is close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. It just calms you down and it helps you center yourself and grounds you. Then visualize your life in 5 or 10 years' time. Where are you? What do you see in front of you? What are you experiencing? How do you feel? What do you hear? Now, 5 to 10 years might seem a long way away, but at the end of the day, it will be here sooner than you think. And that is ultimately where you're going. And when you're thinking about your vision board for 2024, visualize where you want to be at the end of 2024. But don't forget about your long-term goals, because they will drive your 2024 goals. Okay. Picture yourself achieving your goals. So imagine in your mind, create this whole story of what your life will be like. Feel it, experience it, make it feel real to yourself, because by doing so, you will then be able to make some realistic goals and pin them down. Okay, always connect with your emotions. How does it make you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? And pop it in here. You can describe it. If this is not enough space, use a journal. I'm a big fan of a physical journal, writing down with my hand. Maybe a bit old school, but it really, really does work. The next thing is for 2024. Now you're going to do your plotting and your planning for your actual vision board that you're creating. Okay, so think of your key areas in your life. I've made space here for 8 key areas. It could be your career. It could be your finances, your financial situation. It could be buying that house that you're looking forward to. So fill in, what is your key area? What do you want to achieve in that key area? Your ideal outcomes and inspirations. So your key area 1 is, I want to buy a house. I want to actually own a house. Okay. So here is my house. And you're going to say, I have a beautiful house. I own my own house. So write it down as if you actually have it already. What do you want to achieve? It's a 2-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, close to the sea, walking distance from the beach. And it's got a beautiful kitchen, so think about what does this look like? Okay. Your ideal outcomes and aspirations. I will have this house by the end of 2024, and I'll pay for it with a loan, which means I need to apply for a bond. And I'm going to decorate it, go mad with your imagination. And then write your short-term and your long-term goals. So you need to unpack it, and there is work to be done. If you want to achieve that house in 1 month's time, by the end of this month, what will you need to have accomplished? Within 6 months, where would you need to be? What are your goals? Etc., etc. So this is the section where you actually start unpacking your timelines and your action items. So for each key area, you write these, your feedback in, and then the next bit is to have the fun bits. Okay, now go and have a look. For each of those key areas, you've identified now which ones are the important ones. What images represent that key area and what you're trying to achieve in that area. So everything needs to be intentional. Don't just get a picture of any house. Go and get a picture of a little beach cottage that is in line with what you're looking for. You don't want to put a picture of a big mansion, because that's not what you're looking for. You want a little beach cottage. Find a picture of that, put it on your vision board. So look for your materials, create your categories, format it, design it, have fun, get your hands dirty, and then put it up in a place where you'll see it every day, consistently. Okay, remember, have a look at why you chose specific images and phrases. And I can tell you that on my vision board, the things that I've accomplished, I actually said, I am my own boss. So this was before I left my corporate job earlier in 2023. So my 2023 vision board said, I am my own boss, and it had like a few things on there. I said, where I said, I am, I have, etc., I achieved it because my reticular activating system, which is the part of your brain that is sifting out the important bits of information, knew that this is a priority. The things that I said, I will buy my child a car. I haven't done that yet. Why? Because my brain has decided, okay, you will, but that is somewhere there in the future. It's not something that is important right now. So let's focus on those things that are important right now. So your language that you use and your pictures that you use are so, so, so important. Okay. And then your action plan. This is just a few tips on how to create an action plan to actually achieve your goals. So I think in conclusion, we've basically gone through the entire workbook. In conclusion, a vision board is not a piece of magic that you put up in your, you create pretty pictures and you put up in a place where you can see it every day. It's not magic. A vision board represents intentional achievements that you want to have in your life or to have achieved by the end of 2024. So it's intentional, and you need to do the hard groundwork before creating the vision board to make sure that it actually works at the end of the day. Okay, so does that make sense? Are there any questions? I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay, so the next steps are, I'm going to send an email out to everybody who's attended. And in the email, I'm going to include the link to download the workbook. I'm going to include a link to the recording of this workshop. And then the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an invite to the VIP Vision Board Design Your Dream 2024 group, so that the people who've attended this workshop, and I'm running this workshop again in 2 weeks' time, everybody who attends it can actually share and encourage each other through this process. What I would like to see is, it takes me a few days to design my vision board because I take it quite seriously. So it takes about 3 days or so. And then I'd love to see your vision boards. If you want to share them, we can pop them up and share them on the group, on the Facebook group. And then what would be nice is to see, as we go through 2024, how we're achieving our goals and how far we're getting. It might be nice to have like a touch base somewhere in the middle of the year to make sure that we're all on track. Also, by forming this group, we're helping each other to be accountable to achieve our goals that we've set out to achieve. Okay, so any questions? If not, I'm going to end the meeting, and I just want to say thank you once again for attending. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope that you have an amazing 2024.